looks like we're back. So as we let everybody get on, we are a couple minutes early, and last time people were joining till about 5 minutes after. Yeah. So we're just going to have a little fun in the meantime. Sit back, relax, enjoy some comedy, and we'll go from there. You guys want to play some games while we wait?
I don't think I have a choice, do I?
I don't. The producer put these together, so I guess we got to go with that. As I mentioned, if you just got on, what we were doing, just a few fun games while we waited for everybody to get onto the webinar. And we'll see.
Let's be clear. We did that for you. We didn't do that for me.
Clickbait.
Yeah. What do you got there?
Just take a bite. Ghost pepper. Gummy ghost pepper.
What? Explain what you're sensing right now.
It started off good, but immediately got bad.
Yeah,
you go ahead and throw that over here.
To be clear, it's
so we can get underway.
It's a ghost pepper, so that's fun.
You'll be all right.
No warm.
Yeah, we might have to get a water here,
or some milk.
Right. We'll throw that back there too. All right. Well, welcome to the second Razor Tracking Town Hall webinar. We did our first run of this back in June or July. And the feedback was awesome. Had a lot of good questions and a lot of good feedback after that. Once again, we will do a Q&A. So if you have questions as we go ahead, get them into Simon, our producer. He'll get that over to us at the end. We'll try and get in and out of here in about 25 minutes. Looks like they brought us some water.
Thank you.
So we can get back focused.
How are you feeling right now? We just got to check in with you once in a while.
I got some good blood flow in my head.
All right. So, and also a lot of you probably joined for the giveaway at the end. So they are also tallying the names of everybody that's hopped on, and we'll get those over into a bag in about 25 minutes, like I said, when we wrap up. So let's jump into it. With us this time, again, is Phil Steichen, widely requested after the last webinar. And we also have Ben Larson stepping in for Matt Erlinson. See which one of you guys can perform better in the webinar.
Well, it's obvious.
You obviously started well with the sweep of the Razor.
I mean, when you come playing games, you got to come with your A game.
A game.
And I did not bring my A game.
No.
Oh, you feeling all right, though?
Better now.
All right. So, like I said, let's get into the meat of the content, and what we want to cover off today is obviously more tips, tricks, some conversations we've had with customers, some new features, and then at the end we'll update you on some of the stuff from the last webinar, answer your questions and answers, and have the giveaway. Should we get underway?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. So one of the topics we touched on with Matt last time was when he's out and about, he has a lot of customer conversations, conversations with different co-ops, construction companies, counties, cities, all kinds of stuff. And some best practices always come about every time they're out and about. Last week, or actually earlier this week, you were out and about in Minnesota. Why don't you take us through some of that? Where were you, and
Sure.
What'd you come across?
So when I was cruising around, I met with a lot of prospects and also a lot of a few of the customers. I had some great conversations. Things are really moving forward, and harvest is getting ready to go. When I was sitting in the office, one of the things I saw the first bean truck come through at one of the sites. So beans are happening. Sugar beets are on their way. There's corn's looking great out there as I was driving around the countryside. So I think it'll be good. I'll jump into my tips. I've got a couple of tips for you guys in the harvest season. So pre-harvest and moving, moving fields. Those are two pieces that I think are pretty big. First thing you want to do is make sure that you have all your drivers download on their phone the Razor app. It's free for them. Get them set up in the desktop system. And then once you've done that, you're able to jump on and start routing some of your guys. So you've got your morning crew that you want to go into the yard. You send them to the yard. If you want them to go into the field, you go into the field. If you jump on that right-hand side, you'll see that there is a little road button. As you can see, it's clicked it. You go through. You can choose who's near or all the vehicles. Check the vehicles that you want to include in on this dispatch or sending them out. It creates all of the directions on the right. You click on that messenger. You can send it to any of your guys. Also, if you have vehicles that are not connected to drivers, you can add them in here, add a note, and it'll send them all the directions and that piece.
Be handy for people switching vehicles.
Yeah, very, very handy because you can do operator and co-operator on that.
We actually had a couple of co-ops utilizing that this last spring, and the feedback was phenomenal. We've actually made further improvements on that to make it more streamlined.
Yeah.
Gets right out to their mobile device. They
Yeah.
know exactly where they need to go.
Yeah, and the second one is refuels. When I was out talking to one of our customers, he told me that they have a booth right next to their fueling station. They pull the trucks in, they fill up, they go into the booth, and they fill out by hand this piece of paper. And then he has stacks of paper sitting on his desk. He has his son come in, and they hire him to input all this data. We've eliminated that for you. So one step, if you throw a tablet or they can do it on their phone, you're able to jump into this menu on the left-hand side of the menu.
And this is on the desktop, right?
Yep, this is desktop. You can go into the fuel purchases. You can add all the data that you want there, add the vehicles and the user. Once you do that, you can then save it and move on to the next piece, which would be the reporting aspect of it. So as your guys are adding that data, it'll create an actual list for you under the purchases that you can literally print out, export, and use it for tracking all of your vehicles' fuel and consumption.
And this is on the mobile in beta format right now.
Yep. It should be released next week or the week after, so you can see that fuel logs there and that one picture there. It's basically the same setup as what Ben just walked through on the desktop. Is you can add fuel purchases and they'll get put right into the desktop.
And we also do integrate with a couple different fuel cards. If you have questions on those, go ahead and reach out to us. We'll take you through those. If it is a company we don't work with, we're more than willing to reach out and see if it's a partnership makes sense for all of us.
Yep.
And then the son of the guy, is he unemployed now?
Or does he get
I think he's going to be mopping a little bit.
Okay.
Something.
He'll be repurposed.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is actually a really big announcement for us. After the last webinar, we announced a upcoming asset tracker that will be launching late fall, early winter.
Yep.
And our partnership with Apario here out of Fargo. But based on some feedback coming right out of the webinar, we rapidly developed on another device that we were working with. We're affectionately referring to as our Premier Tracker, which is going to give you much more in terms of engine diagnostics, that type of data. Why don't you take us through that?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this Premier Tracker because it's kind of an all-in-one. It can do your GPS and cell just like all the other trackers, but also can do Bluetooth. So the customers that have ELD, they don't have to run two separate devices. It's just an all-in-one. The other thing too that we listen to is hardwire and installation is kind of sometimes a hurdle to get across. Well, these ones are pretty much a plug and play for your big different kind of types of connections. I think the next, yep. So you got your 9-pin, which is the J1939, 6-pin 1708, which is like that early 2000 semis, and then your 2 different OBD2, so your cars and pickups or your Volvos and Macs.
And so those will cover sprayers, spreaders, trucks.
Yep, we should run the gamut, and you can even hardwire it if you want to.
If you're still into that.
Yep. So the nice thing is you can get fuel level, fuel usage, odometer, engine hours, the VIN number. And then a nice thing too is the diagnostic code, so you can kind of do some troubleshooting right from the office.
Yeah, and we have a couple customers that are beta testing that for us right now. We actually have it in our test environment, and we'll be launching that within the next couple weeks.
Yep.
So if you have interest in further engine data, further real-time data, if you wish to do more plug and plays in the future, have those conversations with your sales rep, Phil at
833 Go Razor.
or
Ben.Larson at razortracking.com.
absolutely give him a call.
Also, one thing on that is talk to your mechanics, talk to your guys that are in the shop that work on these vehicles, because this will simplify their lives. They can do all the tracking through that maintenance side of things, and if you have the Premier Tracker, you can see all that engine data on the fly and schedule those trucks and vehicles to get in and get fixed. So,
And the feedback from our beta tests has been phenomenal. A lot of them are long-time customers, so they know what we've been through in our evolution. They're really excited about taking these into the next level. So again, reach out via phone, email, questions, and we can start getting things processed. Like I said, it'll launch here in the next few weeks, but we're well into our beta and should be launching soon. The next hot topic came from our last webinar as well. In our last webinar, we did touch on CDMAs and CDMA technology, in which our cellular carriers are retiring come the end of this year. We have worked thoroughly with our customer base to get these swapped out and did our best to make sure we helped subsidize that, made it as easy for everybody out there to get these back into their fleet so they didn't have any downtime. In that process, working closely with our customers, what we found is there were customers that had some units out there that hadn't reported in days, weeks, and in
even months. We
a
had
couple of them
up to
in
6
months. And that's not our intention. Our intention is for you to have a full system that's working. It's part of the reason we don't have contracts. It's why we stick so tightly to our premier customer service. Is we're here to provide the best solution with the highest integrity. So we want to make that transparent to you. We've developed a device health dashboard. That'll be rolling out here in the next couple months. We do have a beta version of that as well. If you want to take us through that.
Yeah, so right now you're kind of seeing a little sneak peek of what it looks like. So it kind of breaks it down into kind of several different categories. And why we're kind of waiting a little bit to test it is some of those edge cases to make sure that the suspended ones don't get to a potential issue or not reporting kind of scenario. So we're building that out. So basically we can provide you with most efficient devices, and you guys can run your operation as efficiently as possible.
And when you see potential issues up there, what we're referring to with that is a lot of times when you have different people installing, they might, tie some wires together like ignition.
Ignition, we won. Accidentally cutting or blocking the antenna we've seen. So we're making sure we kind of hit those scenarios.
Absolutely. And those will show up, say, in a potential issue. Not reporting means, hey, let's go track this down because we should have gotten some reports. Even if GPS wasn't working, even if ignition was there. It's been a week. It's been a couple of weeks and we haven't gotten a report from it. Let's go track it down because we don't want you paying for any lines that you're not using. So we want to make that transparent to you.
Well, and the other thing too is if you get into Razor and you see that map of all your vehicles that are out there, if you notice one in Canada or Mexico, maybe you should give us a call because that's a real story. Give us a call. We can cancel that. Maybe it's a vehicle that was sold or just is heading to the junk heap or whoever, whatever it might be.
And they didn't take out the device.
And they forgot to take out that device. We can take that off for you. Again, we don't have any contracts, so you can cancel those at any time. And then we can clean your system up and you can get back on the road.
Another quick reminder, if you had questions, go ahead, send them in to Simon via the Zoom meeting. It should be on your bottom bar to send a chat or a question. And as well, we'll get to the giveaway here probably in about 7 to 10 minutes. Sound good to you guys?
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
back my truck up. We can just put it in
All
there.
right. Well, are you logged in? Yeah, you need to be present on the meeting.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm in the meeting. Wait, okay.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So the crew gave me a little tough time after our last webinar. Used absolutely too many times.
Yeah, and so far the tally is 3 that I have of him saying at this time. So
If you want to see that webinar, we have some really good information from our CDMAs, our upcoming asset trackers, a few other items.
Yep, on the YouTube channel.
Yep. Go to search for Razor Tracking on YouTube. We have a channel out there. Go ahead, watch some of our testimonials as well as our previous webinars. This one will be posted there as well as soon as Simon's done with the recording and posting. The next thing we want to touch on is the coming soon opt-in feature. So this actually goes back to last spring, and we released a couple features. They were really exciting. The feedback was great on them. One of them being vehicle setup. It was more modern, easy to use.
But just drastically different than what it was.
It was very different than what it was previously. So the feedback was, oh, well, we were really busy. We didn't know exactly how to use it. They loved the layout, but they weren't ready to use it. We've decided that for any major features, smaller improvements and things like that, we'll continue to roll out as we release every 2 weeks. But for any major features, we're going to give you the option to opt into them for about 3-4 months.
Yep.
At which point, yes, we will still release it, but it gives you a chance to provide feedback if you want, or if you just want to be a late arrival, you can just wait till we push it out, but you'll have a chance to look at it.
Then you'll be the first one to kind of help direct. If you have some feedback of good, bad, otherwise, just send that in on the right sidebar. Show you how to turn that opt-in here on. On the map, if you go on the right side, it looks like a beaker for testing, I think is what it is. So you can see that the new coming soon is the distance by state upgrade. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like prior to it. So you can see that loaded up here. It just looks like the normal table view breakdown with the vehicles, state names, and everything. So
Anybody that has used
I've used this.
state, this is what you would have seen.
Exactly. And then if you turn it on, then it's going to ask you to refresh that page. With that refresh now, it's going to just reload the razortracking.net.
But this will stay on until they want to turn it back
Yep,
on.
they can turn it on and off and dictate it. And like I said, get some feedback. Now it's a lot different when you generate it. So when you do generate it, it's going to a lot more modern kind of feel. It's going to have some more graphs, a little more different sorting areas. Just kind of a bit more user-friendly, I would say, to manage what your report looks like.
And we're using new reporting technology in the back end. You might have already seen that coming via the current fleet status. I think we mentioned that in the last webinar. All of our reports are moving to that, allow for more graphing. And when we get the Premier trackers fully launched here, a lot more data. You know, fuel levels, fuel usage, all of those will be available. So with that said, we just have a couple more tips, and then we'll get into review of the shotgun whereabouts, Q&A, and the giveaway. So we'll get you back on your way probably about 5-6 minutes here.
Oh, let's say 8.
8?
Yeah,
Well, we can't use the whole half an hour.
I'm kidding.
All right. So the next thing, and we touched on this last time with Phil's kind of self-help tips. The purpose of this is sometimes what you want to be getting the information on, better ways to do things, or sometimes it's just the simplicity of the system can be very basic. Why don't you take us through a couple's basic, like, how do I do this?
Yeah, one of the most common one we see in the fall and spring is just can't log into the Razor set tracking system. Usually it's a forgot password and the browser didn't remember it, or it's
They didn't
kind
need
of
it for the
messing up.
previous couple months.
Yep, exactly. So when you ever go log into the system, and here's my webinar PS, and Simon, if you could move us over a little bit. Thank you. It says new user password. There's a little button that says forgot password. So if your admin sets you up with a portal, it'll reset link to your email. So as soon as you get that, I'll pull up my email here, and then just click on that link. That link just is going to bring you right back to a similar looking page, and then you can enter that new password and then go ahead and confirm it. The biggest thing, it has to be 6 characters long, else you'll get some errors. Save it, and then now the big thing is to write it down one more time and then click that remember me so you can forget it till next
in your
time.
notepad that's in the desk drawer that everybody has.
Right. And then for those people who share passwords or kind of update on the regular, what you can do is at the bottom left of that navigation panel underneath settings, there's user settings, and there you can go ahead and update your password with your existing and then your new and confirm it to update it. So the other use case is, it is a shared one. It's going to a different email you might not have access to. So go ahead and call up your administrator. They'll just edit your profile, and they can click that reset password, and they can set it to just a default one they want. And then as soon as users log in, then they can kind of customize it to where they need it.
And a couple things with that. One, we've tried making it as self-help as possible, but worst case scenario, you can still call our support line. They'll help you out, help you get that reset. And where do they call?
833-GO-RAZOR. The other thing too is users are unlimited, so if you don't want to share passwords or user counts, you can create as many as you want.
Yep, and we're not the police. This is your system, so if you want to share accounts, that's up to you. Go right ahead. But yeah, the users are free.
Yeah.
You can have unlimited users, so go ahead and it looks like we're moving on to the next feature here. But
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us a call if you need to add users as well.
Exactly. And then this other one here I was going to show is just scheduling reports. So a lot of people do the distance by state quarterly. So if you just schedule it out for the run for the quarter previously, it'll run for the 2nd of that month. So it'll be January 2nd, April 2nd, and then on the like. So to do it, you just click that schedule button on all of the reports. It'll bring up this fancy word I learned. It's called a modal. And then it looks like a pop-up. And then you can customize it. It can be quarterly, but you can also do it weekly, daily, or on an oddball custom schedule that you dictate.
Yep, and that'll get emailed out to you on that schedule.
You can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thanks for those, Phil. With that, we're just going to do a couple wrap-up items, and then we'll get to the giveaway. See, we got the names all put together yet? Okay. Looks like they're just wrapping that up. And then we got a couple questions, it looks like. I don't know if we'll get to all of them based on time. But last time we mentioned the Razor Shotgun. We pulled this together because we're interested in getting out there for customer service to help new installs, get our account management representatives out in the field, visiting with the customers, getting that feedback. Where's it been since the last webinar?
Fairly a lot of places. You just took it up to Minnesota for a while, and then I ran up to Canada till they completely blocked that border. A lot of Dakota, South Dakota. I think we went Kansas,
Yep.
Missouri, Iowa.
Over by Wyoming just for a bit.
Yep.
And that has gotten a little limited. We're doing everything we can to get out and about. Obviously, there's something going on this year that's limiting our ability to travel.
What would that be?
Yeah. Well, we'll skip past that for now. That seems to be a hot topic. All right, let's jump into Q&A, and then we will wrap up with a giveaway. If we already have Premier trackers, how can we see the data? Well, if you already have the Premier trackers, you're one of our beta customers, so you are working most likely with Phil and a couple of our developers already. And that data will start coming through via the modal.
That modal.
We're releasing today and into next week modal that when you click on the vehicles, instead of data popping up on the left side, it'll pop up on a little window in the middle of the screen, and it'll have all that information if it's available via that equipment.
Yep, I think our big four right now is diagnostic code counts, fuel level, engine hours, and fuel usage, I think.
And odometer?
Odometer, I think that one is.
And so that'll start being available for the devices that have it. If it's not available tomorrow, it'll be in our next release in 2 weeks.
Yep.
But if you already have Premier trackers, I'm guessing you're aware of a lot of this. Mm-hmm. And like I said, reach out to these guys if you want to start getting involved on that right away. Get that feedback in. But thank you to the people that have been helping us test those devices. What do we have next? And this will be the last question because we are running low on time. What can we expect in the next quarter from Razor Tracking? Well, I think we touched on a lot of it from this meeting.
Yep.
But we can probably call it a couple other highlights. Ben and the guys are getting back on the road. They're coming out to visit. If you have any swaps left to do, we're really focused on that. But we also do go through a couple sprints in development that include optimizations, system stability. So that's very, very much a focus right now. So as you get into your busy season, that we're there to help. That it's an optimized system for you.
A solar panel asset tracker, hybrid tracker.
We have a
we're
hybrid
working on.
tracker that we're working on. Probably talk about that more in the next webinar. It's a hybrid battery backup with solar powered. And Phil's lackey, that we affectionately refer to him as, has kicked off a project around dash cams.
Yep. He once in a while I'll make sure he's driving appropriately.
Yeah. So we have that on Razor Shotgun right now.
Yep, it's in the shotgun.
But those are kicking off here just in the last month or two. So we don't have really a timeline on those, but hopefully you can expect those, at least some more announcements in the next quarter. And beyond that, we'll try to keep you guys updated. If you have questions, reach out to us at
833-GO-RAZOR.
or
ben.larson@razortracking.com.
and as you can see on the screen, that's Larson with an O.
Correct. The right.
Not Scandinavian.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit. All right, let's get to the giveaway. That's what some people might be waiting for. We don't want to take past 30 minutes. We kind of hit our cap there. Phil, do you want to draw a name out of there?
Well, they're pulling that too. Don't forget it's hunting season, so your guys, when they head out to the field, tell them to bring their tablet. They can run it all from a tablet in the deer stand.
We got a bunch of backups here if you need them.
Yeah, Jamie Reed is who I pulled out.
Jamie Reed. All right, Jamie Reed. You've heard a couple of our contacts. We'll be reaching out to you to get you that 50-inch TV. If you don't know or don't see the email come to you, go ahead, reach out to the gentleman here, and they'll get that all set up for you. If you have other questions that might have come in, we will get those posted with the follow-up email, and this whole webinar will be up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel at Razor Tracking. So go ahead, check that out, and thank you, and we'll see you in December.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks for joining.